Hi there, welcome back to David at Go Tubbies. Right, if you hear something cooking, it's my dinner, so I do apologise. Right, I'm going to talk to you about this um bunch of cowboys we've got as a government. Now, a few topics I'd like to cover. Obviously, I made a video, this bastard government, and it's gone ballistic. It's gone absolutely unbelievable well. So thank you to all of you. Thank you very much for watching it. And it's the truth. This bastard government sums them up to about right, doesn't it? Now, what I'm going to talk about is people's views about this government. And it's touched quite a few people's nerves. And other people think by not complaining or by complaining or whatever. The thing is, I've wrote to the police before now. I've wrote to the government before now. I've wrote to the politicians before now. More so my MP I've wrote to. If I wrote to Starmer, I don't think I could control my vocabulary. If you want the honest truth, I think there would be a few choice words in the email telling him what I think of him and his government, to be honest with you. But to sum it up, and that's this: no matter what we say or what we do, it makes no difference. You know that, I know that. But if we do it individually, that's the case. But if we do it as a majority, there's a big difference. In other words, my videos, like the bastard government, this bastard government, right, is gone over 10,000 views. And that's a lot of views for me, right? And thank you to all those people who watch my videos. And thank you for people that have subscribed to my channel. Just ask you again, if you please subscribe, helps these videos like this get out to people like you so more people enjoy it. So thank you there. But going back to what I'm saying, and that's this. Right? We all have an opinion. Excuse the expression. Opinions are like arsehole. Everyone's got one. Alright? Now, I try to base my opinion on how I feel. Right? How it makes me feel. But also, I'll say this. A lot of people's feelings is very similar to mine. And why do I say that? It's because it does very much resonate with a huge number of people like yourself because you're watching the video. Now, the thing is, the way I see it is this, right? The amount of people that hate Starmer and the Labour government is growing day by day. The momentum is growing. The amount of people that are voicing their opinions, you should all voice your opinions. You should all let me know what you think, right? Because then I get a sort of a sensor. What do you call it? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? A census of a people's views and how they feel about the country, what's going on with illegal immigrants. And I'll tell you, just very briefly, some facts for you. They're opening two centres, one in Scotland, and I think there's another one somewhere else. I can't remember where it is now, to house asylum seekers. Now, they said this will make a huge difference on the hotels. Sorry, but it's bullshit, isn't it? More bullshit from the government. Why do I say this? Is they reckon it's going to house about 900 people. I'm sorry, you're getting more than that in a day or two, aren't you? You're getting 5,000 odd in a week. So 900 ain't going to make a scrap of difference. What gets me is the reality of this government. They're living on cloud cuckoo land. They're living up there in their ivory towers thinking, oh, we got this great idea. We use the army bases or army residents. So what about our army? This is the ludicrous idea of our government, and that is we'll use army accommodation. So what about our poor soldiers? Oh, duh, got no brains. I'm a politician. It comes to mind that they're as thick as two planks, and also thick as poo, aren't they? I would love to say the word, but it gets a bit too much sometimes. You know what I mean? But I made a video. I wouldn't even piss on them if they're on fire, because they ain't worth pissing on, are they? And we all know they couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery, so I wouldn't even piss on them if they're on fire. So that was my point there. But what I like about making these videos, and that's we all got the same opinion. We all feel the same way about this bastard government. But it's not only that, it's the way they're going about things. It's the way they are betraying everyone. But if you take the government out of the equation for the moment, just for one moment, right? This is the nitty-gritty of it all, right? Our government is, let's say, the manager of the country. The owner, the CEO of the country, are these civil servants pulling the government strings. So the CEO is telling the government, or these civil servants is telling the government what they can do, what they can't do, the policies they've got to do, the agendas they've got to make, and so on and so forth. Right? The problem I see is this. These civil servants are so out of touch with reality, common sense, and people's feelings. They do what they think best. They are running a show, to say the least. But it just seems to me they do not have a little bit of a clue what they're doing. If they did, we wouldn't be in this freaking mess. But what also I'm going to say to you is, it's not just this government, it's been the Conservatives. So what happens is the government is just a front. So what does that tell us? We all know Starmer is a dictator. I call him Stalin Starmer. Right? I can't stand him. I hate the Labour Party. And I don't have a lot of faith in the Conservative Party. And the problem I see is this. Right? I think the Conservative Party were just milking it. Alright, they had 14 years, they lived on the morals, and they think, well, we can do this, we can do that. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that, does it? You know as well as I do, if you want to be good in this country, you've got to work with the people. It's about people, it's about jobs in this country. What gets me is this, right? We've been sold out because of short-term gains for long-term goals from this government and each government we've had. What they've done, they sold public-owned businesses, our businesses owned by the country, to private investors, right? And then companies in this country, right, sold their companies because they got a good offer from, say, the Chinese. Look at the London taxis. They make London taxis, Chinese owned. Look at Jaguar Land Rover, Chinese owned. British Steel, Chinese owned. The list goes on and on and on. When you start digging, it's not just China. I mean, I looked at a power station in the middle of Mansfield, and it's owned by the Philippine government. And this is the whole point I'm trying to make. and that is we've got foreign countries, foreign businesses owning key infrastructure. I wouldn't be surprised HS2, yeah, was funded by the Chinese. And not only that, what gets me, £100 million for a bat shed, you know what I mean? It just begs belief, the stupidity of wastefulness. And what gets me is this, it's not their money. They are guardians of our money, our taxes. They are supposed to be, what's the word? Pardon me. Doing good, that's the best way to describe it. But what are they doing? Doing bloody bad. We need a government not controlled by the civil servants, right? We need a government. And this is the truth. If Nigel Farage got in, the Reform Party, or the Green Party got in, doesn't matter which party got in, it's going to be controlled by the civil servants running this country. I don't know how many there is. Some people say it's 50. I don't know. But my whole point is this. We are being lied to. We think the government is the government of this country. And all they're doing is a spokesman. They're a spokesperson for the civil servants in this country. So we've been lied to, we've been led down the garden path, and we've been misled from day one. I'm afraid the bubbles burst, and reality is going to come crashing down on the government, because next time there is a general election, for knowing what we know now, the public will put in place a system that we don't want a government ruled by the civil servants. We are going to have to change the system. We need the system to work for us, not as a dictatorship like we've got at the moment with Stalin Starmer. Right, there's a lot to cover, but I think we need a complete shake-up of our government. We cannot have a government continuing on the path that they're doing now, right? Doesn't matter what government gets in, because all they're going to do is be dictatorships from the civil servants. It's a wake-up call, and if you didn't know that, you do now. And it's been proven that these civil servants that are pulling the shoestrings of the government are the people that are in charge. What do you think? I always like to put it back to you, because at the end of the day, your views is what counts. How you feel, how the government makes you feel, is very important. They're talking about putting up a penny in taxes, right? How does that make you feel? The Labour pledge to not increase council taxes, that's gone by and by, hasn't it? That was another lie, right? Sorry, I'm going to say it, I'm going to swear, and it's just bullshit from the governments and these civil servants. They say this, say that, right? Even the government said they inherited a £20 billion black hole. It's crap. It is absolute bullshit what this government is coming out with. It's just, let me just tell you, right? These illegal immigrants, it's probably costing about £14 billion a year, right, to keep them in this country, right? Well, what gets me is what I said at the beginning. They're going to house them in army accommodation, military accommodation. Is this government off their tiny little bloody rocker or what? Yeah, they haven't got a brain. If they had a brain, they'd be dangerous. And I just feel that we deserve better. The English people deserve better, and it's time to start, you know, saying what we think. So here we are, everyone. Time to say your opinion. Thank you to all that people that have watched my videos. Really much appreciated. And as I say, please subscribe. Helps the channel grow. And not only that, helps videos like this get out to you. So anyway, last but not least, leave a comment. Let me know what you feel and what you think. Thank you, everyone. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.